how you can jumpstart your social media. So as always, I'd like to thank the Paris Small Business Development Center for having me here to share this training. And I'd like to thank them for always offering such shows and webinars and seminars, things that help us build and brand and grow our businesses. And so I hope that you guys visit their website to take advantage of all that they have. So we don't have to we don't have a choice anymore on whether we do social media anymore. The question is how well will we do it? And I started social media training in 2015, and as a business owner, I'm a photographer, and I started my business in 2000 straight out of college, and around 2015 things started slowing down with my photography business. And what I realized is it was social media. I needed a social media presence. And so at that time, it was okay to maybe be doing it. But today in 2021, it's no longer an option. As a small business owner, entrepreneur, we have to be on social media and have a presence. So I like to share with you some sayings and quotes that I put around me all of the time to keep myself motivated. And I like this one. And it says, some people dream of success while other people get up every morning and make it happen. And what I took from that saying is that we do have dreams. I have them, you have them. We do have plans, things that we want to do. And success looks different for everybody. For me, it may be one thing. For somebody else, it may be something else. But whatever it is, we have to work on it each day. Even if we give 20 minutes, we can't be inconsistent. But success comes from just doing what we need to do to make our dreams come true on a daily basis. So a little bit about me. You did see that about Marsha Lynn Hudson. I am a social media and digital strategist. I love it. Love, love, love it. I love helping people with strategies and getting a plan and getting on the right track. I'm a consultant at SBDC. I really like blogging and writing and podcasting now. I'm dipping my feet into podcasting because that's becoming increasingly popular. And as a writer, a writing professor at the college, I've spent a lot of time reading and learning and studying so that I can bring you guys the up-to-date information on social media. I am a website designer. My husband and I have a photography business where we do photography and video. And I really enjoy this life, this culture that we're in now, because there's so many opportunities that we have in this culture now. So I thought about over the last few months while we've been stuck inside, and we had a lot of time to think about what is our mission. And you, as a business owner or an entrepreneur, I like to tell you, sit down and write it out, think about it. It took me a while, and I would write it down, my mission statement. This is my mission statement. And when we go out to tell people what we do, we need to just give them our mission statement. And so we have to think about, okay, I have a lot of accolades, you have a lot of accolades, but what people really want to know is, Marsha, how can you help me? Those accolades are nice, but I want to know, how can you help me? So I thought about the clients that I work with, the people that I work with. I thought about the questions that they're asking, the problems they're having. And this is when I came up with this mission statement. And I realized I help entrepreneurs develop an action plan and a strategy to build a brand online without being overwhelmed and confused. So I would say to you, take some time over the next 2 days, get a mission statement, figure out what it is you offer, and that is where you want to just move forward with. And so developing a plan, giving a strategy, I realize I'm good at that. And so that's what I want to do to help people. So what if you took one idea from this training? It's normally a 2-day training, but it's going to be more than that. But we are going to meet again. But what if you took one idea from this training and you put that idea online? And I tell people, when you spend 50 minutes or so in a training, get a pen, get some paper, get ready to take notes, take screenshots with your phone. Turn off those distractions, because I have so much information to give you as we jumpstart this 8-week summer series. And I hope you stay to the end for some Q&A, and I do have some free resources. So I tell myself when I watch a webinar, and I love to watch them as much as I love to give them, I always say, walk away with at least one idea, Marsha. Walk away, but I always walk away with more than one. But one idea that I can take back to my business, and my 50 minutes or 60-minute investment of my time, because that's so important, was worth it, because you're going to learn so much. So, what are you going to learn in this training today? And so, we're going to talk about how to get started with social media, creating content that people really like and will engage with. I want to touch a little bit so you can think about it if you're going to be with us over this 8-week series, digital strategies, just for you to think about and maybe look into over the next few weeks. Blogging, podcasting, building your email list from ground zero. That's a digital tool. We're going to look at your most valuable marketing tool, which is your website, and how to make short form videos with your phone. So how do we get started with social media? Well, the first thing is things have changed so much. And I meet people and they say, well, Marsha, I set up a Facebook page, or I set up a LinkedIn page, and I've been on it a while, but I hadn't done much or whatever. And that's okay, because things have changed in 2021. Social media is not the same way it was even 2 years ago. We used to set up our page, post about our product, post about our event, tell her what happened. Social media is not like that anymore. And if we're overly promoting our services and products, the algorithms will not let people see that. So it's so different. So the secret to getting ahead is getting started. And so we have to start with a new mindset for social media. And I'm hoping that I can teach you that over the time that we will be together. We have to get a new mindset for social media. Well, Marsh, what is it? Well, it's a tool. Social media is a tool. And I always ask people, what do you want social media to do for you? And they're like, I want it to bring me money. I want it to give me business. Well, that's the end of the funnel. This tool has a funnel that we have to start at the beginning. Before we get to that, I want people to buy from me, and I want to build my business. And sometimes we skip those steps. And then people say social media is not working for me. But we have to realize it's a tool to create and share content to the public. And so if we're not using the tool and we're not sharing our content in the right way at the right time consistently, then social media won't work. And so it encompasses a lot of websites and apps and things like that. And social media is run by algorithms. And the algorithms are machines. They're not people. Like one client was like, I'm so upset with Facebook, I want to call. It's like, well, you can't really call. It's algorithms. And so we have to figure out, how do we work with the machine, the algorithms with Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram or Twitter, so that the machines will say, this content is valuable, this content needs to be seen, and then let more people see. So the algorithms determine what content appears, and the order that it appears. So I tell people, don't take the social out of social media. So if someone is still looking at social media as, I need to promote my business, then the algorithms are not going to let people see. It's totally different. But then you might say, well, then why use social media for my business? How am I going to make money? That's a great question. Save your questions also to the end, because we will have Q&A. When you show up online, whether it's your website, your social media, your podcast, your blog, or email marketing, and you give value, you answer questions, you solve people's problems, you are the solution, you end their challenges, you're actually selling. What you're doing is you're saying, I have the solution, my product or my service has the solution, I'm giving you value, and you're showing up, and people are like, wow, this person is an expert in the industry, this person is really giving me value, this person's really helped me. That's when people decide to purchase from you. So social media is a powerful tool when done correctly. But on the flip side, if we are posting to our Facebook or our Instagram, our LinkedIn or Twitter, every time I open it and you're like, oh, this, we have this, be sure and check out our site. And then we're like, oh, we're having this event, be sure and check out our website. Then social media is not going to work for you. You cannot take the social out of social media if you want it to work. There's a funnel, and we're going to talk about it, on how do you get from people finding out about you to people opening their pocketbook. So here are some new trends for 2021. Like I say, I've been doing it since 2015, and man, has it changed. What not to do. And I actually watched a webinar last night on the changes of Facebook and Instagram, and it was a great webinar that I watched on it. And here are some things that we should not do on social media. No longer can we do that. It's like at the beginning I said, we have to make the change in our mindsets. You cannot be inconsistent. And so it won't work. If, for instance, if I posted 1 day a week or 2 days, and then 2 weeks, nothing, and then next week 1 day, and then two, it won't work for you, because then the algorithms, the machines will say this content is too inconsistent, we're not going to let people see. The machines determine what they let people see. Let's say you have 2,000 or 3,000 followers on Facebook, and I have done an extensive research on Facebook for the last few months, because Facebook makes so many changes. And let's say you have 2,000 or 3,000 followers on your Facebook business page, not the friend page or the profile. We're talking about your business page, and you make a post. Facebook is only going to let about 2% of your followers see in the first place. So, but if you're consistent, it goes down even more. Secondly, you don't want to constantly promote yourself and services. And I work with a lot of awesome business owners and awesome entrepreneurs and one-on-one, and I check out their sites. I do an assessment, and I say, you're constantly promoting. You're on Instagram and you're constantly putting a picture up and wanting people to go to your website, or you're on Facebook, you're constantly promoting. And so we cannot do that. So you might say, well, what do I post then? And we're going to get to that. So good question. But yes, you can promote your services and products. Yes, you can promote yourself if you're your brand, because you're in business and you need to make money, and you need to use this tool to drive people to your website to make money, but you can't do it all of the time. So the rule is 80-20, 80% of the time. And we're going to talk about what to post. You should post valuable content. And we're going to look at that. 20% of the time, you can promote a product or service. If you give value first, people are more inclined when you offer a product to look at that. So give value first before asking for a sale. Thirdly, you don't want to use clickbait anymore. We used to post, it's please like my page or leave a comment. Well, that's clickbait. So we can't do that. Facebook will not let people see. Instagram will not let people see. It's just amazing the changes, and you're like, well, what can we do? But we are going to talk about that. So do not use clickbait in your post. Let's say you go to Facebook and you pull up your Facebook and you have your blank canvas and you start making your post. And then at the end of your post, you put, be sure and visit our website. No. Or you put, like our page. No. So you don't want to use clickbait, but you can do video, and you don't want to send people, because clickbait sends people off of the platform. So if I made a post and then I put, visit my website, marshalynhudson.com on Facebook, and people click it and leave the platform, Facebook algorithms are going to stop letting people see my content. They do not like for people to leave the platform. And it used to be we could put, YouTube video link and for people to click and go to YouTube. No, you need to embed the link. So remember that Facebook does not like for people to leave the platform. So when we are doing these things right here, Facebook is going to lower your reach, lower. So what to do on social media? Share valuable, helpful, insightful information. You're actually selling, when you're doing this. You're just not doing a hard sell. Have a consistent schedule. And I teach people now, you don't have to be on social media all day, every day. It used to be you need to post to Instagram 5 to 6 times a day. You need to post to Twitter 8 times. It's not like that anymore. So it's quality over quantity. Have a consistent schedule. So if you say, I'm going to show up 3 days a week, just do the 3 days, but do them every week. Or if you say, I'm really busy, I'm going to start off slowly. I'm going to do 2 days a week. Do the 2 days, but do them every week. Because if you're inconsistent, everything I'm teaching to you today will not work on social media. And then you've just added something to your already busy schedule that's not helping you to grow your business. Now, you want to build relationships and make connections. So we can't just post anymore. Okay, we can't just post. So, and I have people saying, I want more followers. I want more followers. I was like, well, let's nurture the ones you already have. Having 10,000 followers or 5,000 followers on Instagram, and all they're doing is liking and commenting and not going to your website and not buying, what does that do for you? That doesn't take money to the bank. But what if you had 100 followers and they were very loyal and consistent, and 20 of them purchased from you? That 100 is better than the 10K. But you have to like their pages, comment on their pages, answer questions on their pages. So it's social media is a two-way street. And so some people are like, well, I've been posting, Marsha, for 3 days every week, like you said. I said, well, have you been connecting with your connections, your followers? What about Facebook? What about LinkedIn? What about Twitter? Have you been going to your followers' pages and liking and commenting? Have you been messaging them? It's a two-way street. So this is how social media is evolving, because social media is not, and I say this a lot, not business media. So what are the top social media sites for our businesses today? Of course, there are others. We don't want to hop on the bandwagon for every new thing. It's like, here comes Clubhouse, here comes TikTok. I don't add everything. We don't need to add everything to brand our businesses. And so the major ones, depending on your industry, because people say, well, Marsha, which ones to be on? It depends on your industry. Facebook and Instagram, you can't go wrong, but because Instagram will work for any industry at this time. It's changed so much. It used to be, and I teach college students, youngsters, I call them, it used to be for youngsters and they put pictures and videos and have fun. Well, not anymore. Instagram is a great platform to build and grow your business, no matter your industry. Facebook is just a given, but you have to learn what to do on it, what not to do on it for Facebook's algorithms to let people see you. Join Facebook groups, do Facebook Live. They like for you to use their features. Do Facebook stories, Instagram story. Then social media starts to work for you. LinkedIn is a great platform if you're trying to reach business professionals or people in companies who would buy from you or promote or work with you. Twitter and Pinterest. Pinterest is two-part. Pinterest is part search engine and part social media, because Pinterest is a search engine just like Google. And so it's part search engine and part social media, because you can still like and comment and build relationship. So if you have a blog, or you're a writer, or you have a business, Pinterest is a great place to look into and to consider. So these are the top 5 that I specialize in training people on. I like Instagram. TikTok is okay, but Instagram has reels, and it's just like that. So I always tell business owners, when you're jump starting your social media, you might say, okay, this is good for me. I need to rebrand myself, or I need to jumpstart my social media, or I need to make the new changes, or I need to pivot. I need to start. Well, you're at a good place if that's what you're thinking. You can start over the next few days with your planning, and then pick 1 to 2 sites and go all in. You don't have to be on every site. Some of my clients are on one site, Instagram, and they are rocking it. Just being on Instagram, posting, doing stories, reels, reaching out to people, and people are buying their products. So, some of my clients want to be on 2 sites, and some have a little team of maybe 2 people. If you have 2 people, you can do 3 sites, but I would not do more than that. You don't need to be everywhere, and you don't need to be online all day. Those are the good changes. It used to be you needed to be everywhere all day. Now I'm on all of the sites because I'm a social media strategist. That's my business. But as a business owner, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be everywhere. Build the know, like, and trust factor with the 4-step funnel. This is what's going to get people to start pulling out their pocketbooks and purchasing or from you. Build the know, like, and trust factor. Think about it. We get to know people. We get to like them. We get to trust them. And that's when we purchase. I mean, I think about the people that I use for my own life. And most of them are not big business owners. My pest control company, it's a small company, but I know them. I like them. I trust them. Your cleaners, that's probably a small business owner. You know them. You like them. You trust them. Your air conditioned people, whoever you're using, think about it. Whoever you're using in your own life, don't you know them? Are you going to let people come in and you're going to spend your money and you don't know them? Don't you have to like them and trust them that they're going to be loyal and they're going to show up? That's when people buy. And so here's the funnel, okay? The 4-step funnel. Awareness. People have to become aware of us. And how do they become aware? That's through your online methods, whether it's social media. You don't want to rely on social media alone, because unless you're doing paid ads, the reach is going down because there's so many people online. So you have to show up. You have to show up on 1 or 2 sites, or do email, or do a podcast, or a blog. You have to become visible so I can be aware of you. Secondly, now that I know about you, you have to create interest. Now you have these followers, and you have to create interest through your content. So let's say you say, I'm going to post 3 days a week, and now I'm a follower. And I go to your Facebook, I was like, wow, what a great post. Or I go to your Instagram, like, wow, now I'm interested in your content. And it's not just trying to send me to your website or trying to get me to buy something, because then you lose follow. And so I'm like, this company, I really like this company. They put some great, interesting content out. And now the third step is want or decision. Now they want to know more, because social media drives traffic to your website. Now I've been seeing you on Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter, and I want to know more. So now I head over to your storefront, which is your website or whatever. And once I get there, I can learn a lot more about you. Your about page, click your services, click your testimonials, click the resources on your website. Click, I'm like, wow, this is a company I want. And then we get to the 4th step of the funnel. I either call you and ask questions about your company, or email you, because now I'm ready to purchase. It works like that. But we have to go through the funnel. And sometimes people want to skip the steps where we create awareness, we create interest that make people want to take action. And so if we don't go through the funnel, it's very hard to make social media work for you. And this works if we are consistent 2 to 3 days a week. So the 3 elements of every good post. So every time you go to post on Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter or wherever you are on social media, the algorithms like this, and everything is about the algorithms, because we want the algorithms, the machines, to let more people see our stuff, right? So you want to post good content. We're going to talk about that, an image or a video, and hashtags. So you never want to post with just words. Always put an image, always put hashtags. And I will tell you this, and you can take a screenshot, you can write this down. And I was learning on the webinar on last night, because I was watching a webinar on Facebook changes, because they really change. And we want to use Facebook, but we don't want to be using it. It's not working for us. And so Facebook now is getting more into hashtags, and you can put up to 6 or 7 or 8 hashtags in your post with Facebook now. Don't go over that because then your reach diminishes. But don't put the hashtags in the middle, put it at the end. So let's say you make a post on Facebook and you can put 6, 7, or 8 hashtags. Now on Instagram, you want to put all 30 hashtags. And I have a free hashtag guide that you can download at the end of this webinar at my site, marshalynhudson.com is my name. So Instagram likes the algorithm, like all 30 hashtags. Use all 30 hashtags every time you post. Don't use 5, don't use 7, use all 30 because Instagram will let more people see. So you can just think of it as 30 opportunities for groups of people to see. Don't use 30 on Facebook, please, because then Facebook is not going to let people see. Stick to 7 or 8. And this is new. I used to post to Facebook and I would put 2 hashtags where they're kind of getting a little bit more into the hashtag realm. We'll talk about that a little. And for LinkedIn, you can use about 6 or 7 hashtags because if you overly use them, then you hurt your post. And for Twitter, you can use hashtags because they actually invented it. So content, image, and hashtag. So where can you get great images from without being blocked or banned? Because you want to be careful with that. So when you get images for your posts, you don't want to just go to Google because they could be copyrighted. You want to go to a site where they're copyright free. So you can get copyright free images from Unsplash. You can take a screenshot. And that's a great place to get images for your posts, for your LinkedIn or your Instagram or your Facebook, because every post needs an image, okay? And not just always an image of your product. You can take pictures with your phone for your image, but always add an image. Now in Unsplash, it's free. And they're from A to Z. You can go, professional photographers like me, we submit pictures to Unsplash. And the win for you is you get to use them free with no trouble. And the win for us as photographers is we get pushed out on, and get recognition. We don't really get money. So it's a win-win. And if you're making a post, let's say you're making a post and you are a nutritionist and you want to make a post on how to eat clean for the summer, because your content should be always valuable, helpful. And you may want a good picture to go with that. So you go to Unsplash and you type in the search bar, clean foods or vegetables, and find a great picture and put it with your post. So everything from A to Z is there. So in your spare time, check out Unsplash. And then I like to say, save a few pictures, 10 or 15 on your computer in a folder, make a folder and call them your Unsplash or your social pictures. And then you have them to pull in each week when you're making your posts. Hashtags. So hashtags are that the little pound sign. It could be a word, it could be a phrase. And hashtags help you to be found. Hashtags are something you do not want to ignore. They help you to be discovered. They help you to be found. They grow your reach. Hashtags are wonderful because this little pound sign with a word or phrase included in your post will cause your post to be found by people who are actually trending or looking for those things. And so I tell people with their hashtags, you want to use hashtags with your company name. So make one. I have one called hashtag Marshall N. Hudson. So anytime somebody puts in Marshall N. Hudson, they may find a post. Maybe if you're doing a post and I put hashtag entrepreneur. So entrepreneurs will find your post. Hashtag small business owner. Whoever your ideal audience is, you want to add that hashtag. You can put location hashtags wherever you live. Hashtag Blinn College, hashtag A&M, hashtag Austin, because these hashtags pull in people to find you. So you want to put location hashtags in your post, industry hashtags in your post, the type of hashtags that you offer. Like mine would be hashtag social media help, hashtag branding tips. So your hashtags will help you be found. So creating content that is engaging. Now that is what the hub of social media is about now. The content that you put on these sites will determine if the algorithms will let you get found. So you can take a screenshot. This right here says 6 ways to master these machines that determine what you and get found. Number one, you have to post fresh content. Okay. So you don't want to just go to Facebook, go to Twitter, go to LinkedIn and post the same thing across the board all of the time. You can sometimes. You want to post at the right time of day. There are optimal times during the day. For instance, for Facebook and LinkedIn, or not LinkedIn, Facebook and Instagram, optimal times are between 9 and 2 p.m. And you have to figure out what times are best for you. What I've done is I pay attention to my posts on Instagram. I pay attention to the comments that people give. I pay attention to the likes. And then I look at it and I see, okay, I didn't get as much traction with this one. And I look to see what time did I post the ones where I got a lot of traction, and what times did I post where I didn't get as much, or what kind of content did I post. Well, what I've done, what I realized in my studying that, and I hope you study yours, is that when I post content on Instagram that teaches people about social media, like 3 tips to build your following, or how to build your email list, I get a lot of traction at 10, between 10:30 and 11. And I found that that's a good time for me because I did a little survey on just sitting down looking. And I also realized that my followers like motivational sayings. So when I put a business quote or a success quote around 11, I get a lot of traction. I've also found lately that when I post, sometimes I will post twice a day. And when I post around 1, I get a lot of traction. But I noticed when I was posting at like 9:30 for me, I didn't get as much. So you want to look at that. Consistent posting. If you're going to do 2 days a week, be consistent. 3 days a week, be consistent. You don't have to do more than that unless you want to. Images help you to get found. Putting an image with your post or video. Engagement. Like your people's pages, comment on their page, and using hashtag. These are the 6 biggest things that you can do to jumpstart your social media right now. So let's talk about 5 best practices of social media. So you want to plan, and this has been a game changer for me. And when I started teaching, really teaching social media over the last year and a half, when we were, everything had to be home, everybody was calling me, they wanted help. And I was like, okay, I have to get on my game. I can't just wake up and post or wake up and think, oh, I need to post. So I started planning on the weekend, and that has been a game changer. It's a habit now because it's been over a year and a half. It's a habit. So I may take some time on a Saturday evening, an hour, or Sunday evening when I'm free. It just depends on what, an hour or hour and a half. I may get away from my computer, get away from my home, go to Starbucks, get a coffee, sit out, or go to Barnes and Noble, or go to a little cafe in my area. And that's my posting and planning time. And now I've come to love it. And because it's busy entrepreneurs and business owners, we're so busy. We have to put in that time to say, this is what I'm doing for my business. I no longer can not be on social media. I just cannot do that anymore. I have to stop saying I'm too busy, I don't know what to do. I can't do that anymore if I want to grow. So in my planning time, I plan. What am I going to do for the next week on Facebook? I write it down. I'm from the old school. I know some people put it on their computer, on their phone, but I still like the writing it down on a tablet. And I write down, this is what I'm going to post on Facebook this week. This is a picture I'm going to use. These are the hashtags I'm going to use. And I sit there and I make my whole plan before I leave that coffee house. And then when the day comes for me to actually post, I just use what I've written down. I mean, it's a game changer versus waiting and Monday shows up and we didn't have a plan. And so I might have a theme. I might be sitting out on a Sunday evening and think, okay, next week I'm going to make all of my posts, my video, my podcast surround email marketing. And so I write that out. And I say, okay, these are the pictures I'm going to use. These are the hashtags I'm going to use. And I plan it. That's been a game changer. Then I make a folder on my computer. You can make a folder, put your images in the folder. You can use your Word document and put, if you wrote things down, and put it in there. Put your hashtags in a folder. Planning is wonderful. If you put 3 folders on your computer, a folder with content, a folder with images, a folder with hashtag, then when it's time for your 3 days, you just pull them out and post. It's like I say, I choose a weekly thing, but you have to be consistent. And you may hear me say that. You will. You'll hear me say that during the whole series. You have to be consistent with your social media presence. So plan ahead, pick a day. Maybe a Saturday or Sunday doesn't work for you. Maybe Monday works for you, but you got to have a day where you're not working in your business, running with your business, meeting people. You have to have that day. Plus you have your family, you have your health. You got to take care of that too. You got to go walking. You got all of that stuff to stay healthy as a successful entrepreneur. So figure out, what day can I take an hour to plan? Some people plan a month ahead. I like to do the week thing. Some people plan a month ahead. So pick a day and let that be your day and your time. Just look at that as, this is my time that I'm having an opportunity to get a client. This is my time that I'm having an opportunity to make more money. That's how you need to think about it. Pick a thing. What am I going to talk about from my industry next week? Either on my social media, on my blog, or my podcast. Gather your images. Get a folder, go to Unsplash, gather about 10 or 20 images so you know what you're going to use. Save them in a folder. Pick your 3 days. You may say, okay, my 3 days are going to be Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Or my 3 days are going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Or Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Pick your 3 days and think of it as, these are 3 days that I am working on my business to build. And then you're going to be happy, like, yay, I did it. So here are the 6 buckets of content for what you should put on your social media posts. And we're going to go more into this in the series, but I wanted to give you something to think about. So one bucket of content is your about, and why you started your business. You can post that, why you're passionate about it, why you started, where you did, or why you're continuing. You're about you, about your business goals. These are posts that people really like. And so one of your days you could say, I'm going to post from the about category. Like sometimes I will post on my Instagram about my struggles as a social media person. I have them. It lets people know you're human, that like you are. It lets people connect with you, and it lets people know, oh, she has the same stuff I have. Okay. So people get this connection because you're letting them see not just the business part, but you're letting them see you as a business owner. Motivation and inspiration category. I have a book that I bought from Barnes and Noble. It has 302 quotes and motivational saying. Use those. Maybe you find a success quote from Jim Rohn or Brian Tracy. Use those, or Oprah Winfrey, and you put, okay, so Tuesday I'm going to post a motivational or success quote. Number 3, education bucket. So you may decide, I'm going to teach tips from my industry, or I'm going to give 3 tips. It doesn't have to be long. It just needs to be valuable, helpful, something that people are like, wow, I really needed that. Wow, that's some great advice. Those are some great tips. Do a Q&A from your industry. Answer a question in somebody's struggle, from your industry. Behind the scenes, let people know what you're doing behind the scenes as a business owner. Maybe you're a designer. You're helping someone design their home. Take a picture and post about it. I had a great time designing this client's home today. Videos are great for increasing engagement. We're going to talk about short form video. And then lastly, showcase your products and services. I always put that last because your content should be 80% of these other things and 20% of showcasing your products and services. And get this, when you show up each week and you post your about or motivational quote or an education tip, people are more inclined to purchase from you when you showcase a product. Maybe you wrote an ebook, or maybe you wrote a book, or maybe you have a series, and now you want to tell people, oh, I got a new book that I've written on Amazon. They're more inclined to buy because you've given them so much value ahead of time. Give value before asking for the sale. So here is a sample of the about category, or the why. Maybe that's you, and you're talking about why you love your business or why you're passionate about it, and so you can post about that. Here is a sample from the motivational success quote. You can put this on Facebook, put it on Instagram, put it on LinkedIn, and in your content, talk about it. You see what I'm saying? This is the kind of information that interests people. Here's a sample of the educate inform bucket. You might do 3 ways to do something, or 1 secret to being successful, or 5 things I did to grow my business, or to change my business, 2 new current trends from your industry, how to become more motivated. Just my idea time and planning time just it just overflows with, oh my gosh, this is what I can post. Social media is about stories, connecting, being human, and people start to know you, they like you, they trust you, and that's when they become clients. It works. And here's the 4th bucket, behind the scenes. I just took a picture. I was out studying, had my coffee. I told you I'm from the old school. I like to write my stuff down, and I posted it. I posted it. It was a behind the scenes post. It says, well, I'm busy at it on a Thursday evening, taking notes and reading about the best content to put on social media. Another week is coming. And so, in other words, that's the behind the scenes category. And then here is a showcase your products and services. I have a lot of products and services, and people are like, really? I didn't know. You just give away so much free. But I don't promote them all the time. But for some reason, people find it, and when they need it, they purchase it. And so then you can promote your products and services. So those are the 6 buckets of content that you want to post on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, all of those. So let's talk a little bit about digital marketing strategies so I can introduce you to them, so that you can kind of get an idea of what we're going to be going over the next few weeks. And with these digital marketing strategies, these are the things that I have heard from my clients. And so I want to ask you this. Do you feel stuck at times? Are you unsure of what direction to take? Are you unmotivated or unproductive, confused or overwhelmed? I felt all of these, and I have clients who felt all of these. So I say, I want to put this in the training so people don't feel like they're alone. I feel stuck at times. I do. I've had times where I was unsure of what direction to take, and I had to let some things go. I used to manage people's social media. I had to let that go. I had to know, what direction do I want to take so that I can stay motivated. I've been unmotivated and unproductive, because when we're unmotivated, we don't produce. And of course, I've been confused or overwhelmed. Well, do I do this? Well, how do I figure out this? It's very natural to feel this way at times. But this is what I had to tell myself: Marsha, get a focus. Focus on your goal and not the obstacle. I'm too busy. That's an obstacle. I don't have enough people to help. That's an obstacle. I don't know what to do. Well, learn, Marsha, what to do. Watch a YouTube video. Take a webinar. Buy a program. Focus on your goal. And I had to sit down and write down, because I like to write things, 3 top goals. And I said, you know what? I'm going to focus on these 3 top goals for my business for this year. Now, if I want to add something later, then I'm going to cut out all of these 10 things that I want to do. And I cut out social media management for companies. I cut out a lot of stuff. I'm cutting out website design. And I want to focus on social media training, helping entrepreneurs understand how to build a brand, doing one-on-one to help people pivot. And I decided, okay, that's my goal. And I'm going to stick to those three. I'm going to focus. And I'm not going to join every site that comes out. I'm not going to hop on every bandwagon. And even though I had to add a few things like podcasts and video, I decided, okay, you can't do all of this by yourself. So I outsource. I outsource. So what is digital marketing? Because you cannot rely on social media alone. Okay, you cannot rely on social media alone. So digital marketing deals with social media, but podcasting, blogging, email, and video marketing. Now you don't have to do them all, but you want to pick one more besides social media. You might say, "Ooh, I think I might think about podcasting." Well, that's great because we're going to be looking into that. And that's like having your own radio show. Or you might think, well, I don't really want to do podcasting. I'm not into that. Okay, well then don't do that. Maybe you want to do a blog where you're writing things out and showing people that you're credible and that you are an industry leader. It's like, yeah, I like that. Or you may want to add the blog to your website, but you have to have one other digital tool besides social media because it's the organic reach, which is the free post, is diminishing. So you can't say, well, I put that on LinkedIn and nobody came. Well, they don't want to let anybody see. And you might say, well, then why be on social media? Because it's a great tool for somebody seeing versus nobody seeing. And it's a great tool for using other features to let other people see. You can't just post. You got to use stories. You have to use reels or videos. You have to connect. Then more people do get to see. But just think if you're not doing any of that, nobody gets to see. So even though the reach is diminishing, you still get seen. And if you want your reach to be seen more, then you just add low cost ads. They work. You can do a $1 a day Facebook ad. I gave a webinar on it yesterday. Facebook ads. You can do a $5 a day Facebook and Instagram ad. They work. They're very affordable. And so video, you don't have to do YouTube. You can make videos with your phone, 2 to 3 minute videos, and put them on your site. And all of this is really not selling, but you really are selling in a way that's not a hard sell. And that's what makes people hire us. So how do you decide which tool is right for you? You decide by thinking, okay, let me think about blogging. All right. You want to think of some topics. You want to think, well, I'm not a writer. Well, that's okay. Think of some topics from your industry that you can just let people know about. You can blog and do bullets in your article. You can make your blog reader friendly and make it just down to earth conversation. Look at other blogs, choose an effective title and add a call to action. You can actually write a blog in your own free time, probably in 30 minutes, and then decide I'm going to blog once a month or twice a month. It works. And so if you're like, well, I don't know what blogging is for me, there are some benefits to blogging. Okay. It increases your search engine optimization, your SEO. Google loves blogs. I will tell you that. And then Google will push you up more, your website. Blogging positions you as an industry leader and it helps with engagement on your website. So I will tell you this, there are a lot of benefits to blogging and you don't have to be a writer to put together a few tips, few articles, a few pointers, put a picture with it and upload it. So if you say, well, no, blogging is not for me. Well, what about podcasts? And I'm really liking podcasts. It's like having your own radio show, right? And so it's easy to start a podcast today. It used to be, wow, you had to get all of this computer, these computer items and this equipment and all of that. Not anymore. And so now a podcast is like having your own radio show. I started podcasting with two things. I researched a place to host my podcast before. I was like, I want to start doing a podcast. And so I went to Google and started researching it. How to get started with podcasts. Where can I host my podcast? I found Anchor. And I like Anchor. And it's free. And if you're just starting, you can use Anchor. But if you want to start doing video podcasts and having guests and all of that, you'd have to, do a paid version. But if you just want to have a podcast and people listen to them, I listen to them on the treadmill. People listen to them in the car. People listen to podcasts. I was listening to a podcast on the treadmill the other day on starting a online course. I mean, people listen to them. And so Anchor, you can host your podcast free there. So I did two things after the research. After looking at starting, I found Anchor and I bought a podcast mic. And I went to Amazon, bought a $40 podcast mic, and that was it. And then I go to Anchor, click record, start recording my podcast. Usually my podcasts are about 10 to 12, 15 minutes. And I may have a podcast on how to use Instagram features, or I may have a podcast on how to put social media into your busy schedule. And so I pull up Anchor, introduce myself on the podcast, give my tips, and at the end, give my call to action. It's just that easy. And then you can do podcasts maybe twice a month. So steps to making your first podcast. This is what I did. And now I'm making podcasts. Decide on a platform. I picked Anchor. Choose a title, a theme, or a niche. Mine deals with social media marketing. Pick your topic each week or each month. List 4 to 5 subtopics for your show. Then you have enough for a month or two. Tape your show. Tape your show, get your mic, tape your show, upload it, and link it to your website. And that is it. So why would you want to add podcasts? Well, podcasts are engaging. They are convenient. They're mobile friendly. And they're growing in popularity. Our listeners are very loyal to podcasters. So you might think, okay, well, what about email marketing for digital marketing? So today with this Jumpstart, I'm just giving you things to think about. I don't want you to go hop into everything, but I want you to have all of the tools so you can decide whether you want to do podcasts with social media, because you can't just do social media, or whether you want to do a blog, or whether you want to do email marketing, which would be great because email is your friend. And if you actually want to promote your services and your events, your email is the best way to do it because you own your email list. You don't own social media. It can ban you or block you, but you own it. So building a list will grow your business. And so people say, well, what are the best type of emails? I don't know about emails. I don't know what to do with emails. I'm actually, if you go to my website, I'm actually giving a email website later today. If you go to my site, click webinars, you can see that. But the best type of emails are welcome emails, milestone emails. Send an email about your milestone, a new product email, storytelling emails, tell about your business, give a free 3-day course. All of these things will help you to grow your business with social media and with a digital tool. And so you might say, well, I don't really have anybody on my list. My list is small. Well, how do I grow it? Well, we grow an email list with a lead magnet or an opt-in. Okay, some people call it a lead magnet. Some people call it an opt-in. And here they are. And so when you go to somebody's website or whatever, and you click or you download one of these things that they're giving away, then they get your email. And that's how you grow your email list. People go to my site, MarshaLynnHudson.com, all of the time and download a lot of free stuff that I have there. Well, when they download it, I get their email. But then I have to take care of it because people don't give you their email for nothing. I shouldn't just email them every time I'm trying to sell something. When I email people, I give them tips and tools and strategies. So how does this, some people call it a freemium, some people call it an opt-in, but it needs to be valuable. It doesn't have to be long. It just needs to be valuable. People need to say, wow, this was free. I can't wait to see what's behind the paid door. And then you put your opt-in onto your email and then you grow your list. And so we're getting to the end. I hope you have those questions for me. So making short form videos, it used to be really difficult to make videos. And this is a bucket of content, videos of content, short form videos. Sometimes people say, well, I'm afraid to be in front of a camera. or it's like now is the time to get over it because video will put your marketing strategy on steroids. The algorithms love video. Okay. And you might say, well, is it a lot to get started? No, you only need your camera phone, a window, a lapel mic. You can get started with simple video for under $100. And so this is something else I want you to think about as you're thinking about jump starting, because you can't just use social media. And so what can you say in the short form video? You pick up your phone, you stand in front of the light, and you make a 2 to 3 minute video. Now, this is a game changer, and add it to your site. You can make a video on tips or storytelling video about your company, behind the scene, be a BTS, a Q&A. And you might say, well, I could do that once a week. Pick up your phone, stand in front of the light, and make a video. And then at the end of your 2 to 3 minute video, you can send people to your website, call to action. You can tell about a product. So you might think, wow, I can add that, a 2 minute video with my phone and just upload it to LinkedIn. Or I can do that. That's really going to build your business. So will your website do what it's supposed to do? So social media drives traffic to your website. And so you have to answer these questions. So once the social media drives traffic to your website, that's where you make the money. It's not the likes and the comments. We can't rely on Facebook. It's not going to hardly let anybody see. We can't rely on just that. We can get a little from that, but we have to drive people to our website. And you have to ask yourself these questions. What happens when people get to my website? Does it look good on a mobile? Do I have catchy headlines? Can people clearly see the benefits for them? Is there a clear call to action on your site? Does business have to have an online presence beyond your website? Because Google will help your website. So you have to ask yourself, when people get to my website, is it doing what it's supposed to do? Because your website will turn these people who have met you and been interested in you into clients. You want to use your social media, your digital tool to drive people to your website. So this is your social media plan at a glance, okay? You only need 2 to 3 days a week. You only need 2 sites. Choose one of the two. Make email a priority and make sure your website is working for you. Take a screenshot, because this is actually the plan for Jumpstarting. This is the plan for rebranding. This is the plan for moving forward. This is how it works for 2021. So join us. I hope you join us for our 8-week summer series. We're going to be doing these on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm really excited. I'm planning so much. All of these things that I introduced you today, we're going to actually take time to go into each one of those. Decisions determine destiny. And so I tell people, we have to make the decision to do it now, or it gets away from us. And I can't stress enough, consistency is the key. Success doesn't come from what we do